Bloodborne is known for fast combat, innovative weapons, and most importantly, its guns. Normally guns are only used to parry attacks, but what if you cast aside your normal weapons and only used firearms? Today, I'll show you how I beat Bloodborne using only guns. So starting out, the first thing we'll obviously need is a gun. I'll head to the Hunter's Dream and pick up the Hunter Pistol, our first choice of weaponry, until we can get something better at least. It's important that we don't use any resources this early, since our gun doesn't do enough damage for killing enemies to be worth the trouble. Every bullet costs a whopping 160 blood echoes, and every heal costs 180, so we aren't going to heal at all, just save everything for the boss. There are enough upgrade materials in the first area to upgrade our weapon twice, and until we kill the second boss, that's all we've got. You can sacrifice some of your health for 5 extra bullets and only cost 1 blood vial to heal, so technically each blood vial is 5 bullets, making them very valuable. We'll also pick up as many items as we can and sell them for cash. We're going to need everything we can get, so buy all the bullets you need and use the rest on leveling up. All we need to focus on is vitality, which gives us more health, and blood tinge, which is most important because it determines how much damage our guns inflict. No other stats matter here since guns don't take any stamina to fire. Once we have everything we need, we can challenge the first boss, Father Gascoigne. This guy can be parried, which is a big help. When you parry an enemy, they become staggered. Shooting them while staggered deals double damage, so parrying and following up with a second attack deals the damage of 3 bullets by only shooting twice. The downside is that it's much more risky getting in close than just standing back and blasting. The strategy you should use really depends on the situation. Getting hit is very bad since you have to heal, and healing costs a blood vial and in turn 5 bullets. Some fights will take practice so we don't lose all of our bullets by getting hit too much. With Father Gascoigne down, we can grab the blood gem from his arena. The blood gem tool is directly after Gascoigne, up the ladder before the cathedral ward. It only gives 3 extra damage for now, but we need everything we can get because the next boss is the hardest boss I fought in this run, the Blood-Starved Beast. This boss is usually a wicked pushover. He gets very aggressive towards the end of his fight, but he doesn't have much health and can be distracted with blood cocktails thrown against the wall. But I have a gun that deals shit damage, and he has really hard timings in his parries. The boss mainly does 2 attacks in the first part of the fight, and he's not really aggressive. Both of these attacks can be parried consistently with a little practice. I still really sucked at this though. Once a third of his health is gone, he becomes much more angry, practically chasing you down the entire time. He gains many attacks, including 1 grab attack that has almost no wind-up and is guaranteed to kill you when your health is as low as mine. Also, every time he hits you, you become poisoned. And you better hope he backs off after he poisons you, because you take a lot of damage very quickly unless you use an antidote that you have a limited supply of. Once you get him down to a third of his health, all hell breaks loose. He goes sicko mode. He will now chase you the entire time, and has an aura around him that poisons you when you get close. He has an explosive attack that can hit you from a questionable distance. The only way I was able to kill him was by parrying him and using my fist for a visceral. I simply couldn't get enough damage with bullets alone. This is the only time I used this strategy since I was going to go crazy otherwise. It still took 5 hours of attempts, and I actually recorded myself for the last 2 attempts because of how ridiculous it got. Please don't make fun of my cockiness.
Yeah, I know your tricks. I know your tricks. I've been fighting you for about 5 hours now, so I know your tricks. Thank you. Really well. You know how you work now. Yeah, there you go. Can you just stand one step? Oh my god! Oh man. Oh, come on. Oh, are we gonna get this? Oh, he's going crazy mode. Oh my god. He can't win, he can't win, he can't win. No! Fuck Christ! Get a fucking head. All I had to do was shoot him. I got a gun. Oh, that does work. Oh, that's a big development right there. Alright, got him. So it takes 9. Gonna do that. Antidote. Yeah. That's not good. Antidote. Yes. Okay. Antidote. Heal. Okay. Oh man. Antidote. I think we got through. Oh, he's doing it again. Son of a bitch. Yes. Okay. Another. Oh man, is this it? Oh, it's so close. He's close. He's so close. Yes! Yes! Woo! Fuck you! Ah!
Now that torture is over, we have access to the Chalice dungeons. I'm going to be making use of a glitch dungeon to get bullets and blood vials, since I don't want to farm the whole time. I will not be using it to level up, though. I'll earn my level ups. In case you didn't know, you can search for the Chalice glyph CUMMMFPK, and it's actually glitched. There's an enemy that automatically dies, giving you 80,000 blood echoes with no effort, and you can repeat this as many times as you need. With the Bloodstarved beast defeated, this door in the Cathedral Ward magically opens up. And now we have access to the Hunter's Workshop, which has some very useful items. There's a rune here that allows us to carry an extra blood vial. The Radiant Sword Hunter badge will allow us to buy some Bone Marrow Ash, which will be used to add 160% extra damage to your next bullet. You can carry 10 Bone Marrow Ash at one time. We'll head to the Old Workshop for the doll set, which can be sold for 35,000 blood echoes. We can also jump off the elevator halfway up to acquire the Formless Odin rune, which lets us carry 3 extra bullets. Of course, to use any of these, we'll need the Rune Workshop tool. The only way to get this is by killing the Witches of Hemwick. But before we do that, we'll need the Sword Hunter badge. When you have both the Standard and Radiant Sword Hunter badge, you can buy the Repeating Pistol. This gun deals 3 times the damage of my current weapon. The only catch is that it fires 2 bullets with every shot. It's like the difference between driving a small car and a big truck. The car takes much less fuel and can be driven for much longer than the truck, but the truck is obviously much stronger while taking much more fuel. For now, the repeating pistol is a much better option, but we'll replace it later with a gun that does much more damage for the bullet penalty. In order to get the Sword Hunter badge, we'll have to kill Cleric Beast. Our gun is much better now, so he's a wicked pushover. He has weak spots on his head and arms. If you shoot them a few times, it weakens those spots and deals extra damage. Shooting him in the head does more damage and can stagger him, making him take even more damage. He's just weak at this point, so take him down and claim your prize. With our new weapon in hand, we can head to the Witches of Hentwick, which will at least be a good test of damage. The only challenge here is getting through the area, which is full of angry women and dogs. Lots of fucking dogs. Make sure you quit out the beginning and spend the insight you gain from entering the fight. If you have 0 insight, they won't summon their creepy henchmen, and you can just kill them with almost no opposition. Just load up with Bone Marrow Ash for the extra damage and shoot them twice. She'll teleport away, so go find her and shoot her again. Literally just repeat this loop on both of them until they're dead, and bam, you got the rune tool and finish the most boring fight in the game. The only option we have now is Vicar Amelia. Much like Cleric Beast, her head is her weak spot. But it doesn't matter much if you actually hit it or not, since our gun deals respectable damage either way. Just make sure you keep the pressure on or she'll heal herself. Most of her attacks are easy to dodge, just look out for a slam attack because the shockwave has deceptive range. I could have used the flamethrower here since it deals crazy damage to her and it's technically a gun, but I wanted it to be at least a little bit challenging because I actually like this fight quite a bit. The next area, Forbidden Woods, is just teeming with upgrade materials, so it'll let us get our gun to level 6. It also hides a secret path to Yosefka's clinic. There we can find the Canehurst summons, which will take us where else but Canehurst Castle. The reason we want to go there so early is because not only is there better upgrade materials, but also you can find the Rider Polish, a right-handed weapon that transforms into a gun. You can also get the most powerful single-fire gun in the game, the Evelyn. The reason it's so good is that it reacts much better to our Blood Tinge level. When our Blood Tinge reaches level 50, it will almost surpass the repeating pistol damage with a single bullet. With our new level 7 gun, we can challenge the Shadows of Yharnam. Individually, they don't have much health, but we'll have to be careful with our resources if we want to kill all of them before running out of bullets. It's much smarter to take out the 2 shadows with the katanas first. The Fireball Shadow is annoying since he blasts you from the distance the entire time, but he'll be easier to fight alone when he goes snake mode and has more annoying attacks. With his buddies dead, all we gotta do is blast him until he dies and we can move on. The enemies in Bergenworth are pretty tanky, so unless you want to get gangbanged, just run past them. Rom has very low health, and we can take her out easy if the baby spiders backed off a bit. I've leveled up my health a lot in this run, and they still kill me in 1 or 2 hits. Rom herself is stupid easy though. All you have to do is watch out for her meteor attack, load up on some bone marrow ash, and run in when it's safe for massive damage. Now we have some quick tasks to get done in the dungeons to set ourselves up for later bosses and the DLC. We kill Undead Giant and the Watchers very quickly so we can get the Root Chalice, and I gotta say it's really satisfying just absolutely melting these guys. We use the Root Chalice to create a specific dungeon that contains the Eye Rune. This makes you more likely to acquire high-level items, which we'll use to get upgrade materials and blood gems to make our gun damage off the charts. There's a pig at the end of this dungeon. Killing him with the Eye Rune equipped has a good chance to award 2 bloodstone chunks. This is a false death chalice, which means the bosses and enemies drop level 5 loot, but have level 1 health. But this dungeon is cursed, so my health is really low. This pig isn't usually a challenge, but I'm also used to being able to take a hit. After a death or 2, I developed a strategy to kill him and upgraded both of my main weapons to level 10. We won't get any more damage from weapon upgrades, only blood tinge, so I figured I'd pick on this goober for some extra blood echoes. His head is extremely vulnerable. 1 hit can be enough to knock him down. Parl was never hard to begin with, but shooting his head just makes this comical. The only issue here is I guess my bullets have a chance to go directly through him, probably because it's just a skeleton. Either way, there wasn't much opposition, just free level up. I don't know what the developers were thinking when they created the one Reborn. It's almost like a gory, haphazard tribute to Tower Knight. Taking out the enemies above feels like a waste of bullets, but it's better than almost killing the boss and dying to a stray fireball. I figured out halfway through the fight that if you shoot its legs, it deals bonus damage and can knock it down. I almost ran out of bullets, but I was able to finish the fight with 4 to spare. Now, if you were to make a list of the most boring and annoying fights in the Soulsborne games, most people would probably put Mikolash pretty high on the list. But I always thought he was fucking hilarious. Running around screaming like a lunatic, he's honestly one of my favorites.
Abandon the dream. No one can catch us. No one can stop us now.
Having a gun makes this even easier since he won't run away until you get close to him. You can just shoot him until he brings you to his first arena. Get him down to half health and he'll run away again.
Oh, majestic! A hunter is a hunter, even in a dream.
All you gotta do is take the stairs up above his room and shoot him on loop. It's hilarious being able to take one of the most annoying parts of Mikolash, fucking chasing him, and completely remove it from the equation.
Now I'm waking up. I'll forget everything.
My little sister came to watch me film this, so I decided to show her my favorite part of Bloodborne. She was horrified. And what could be better to show a little girl than a shadowy knife monster? Murgo's wet nurse gets trivialized by firearms since it can only hit you when you get close. It's also much too slow to react when you choose to get close. During the nightfall phase, just hang back and wait until it ends while trying to get hit as little as possible. It's not worth taking risks here, as you can get annihilated in an instant if you don't watch yourself. The wet nurse is usually kind of a pain in the ass, but I've never had an easier fight against this boss. I've been wanting to test my damage against a difficult boss, and Ludwig is definitely a good test. Not only does he have an enormous health pool, but he's erratic, unpredictable, and deals real big boy damage. I've only done the DLC bosses once, and it was a year ago, so I hardly remember them at all. Ludwig doesn't really have the specific weaknesses in the first phase. Staying far away is key. Also, being able to tell what attack he's going for helps a lot, as in all the bullets you can get. His second phase is actually much easier. His moves are much more predictable, and you just gotta shoot him in the PP a few times to stun lock him for crazy damage. Living failures weren't any harder than usual. You can parry them if you like, since it's pretty simple, but you deal decent damage even if you don't. When they pull out their crazy space alien attack, just hide behind the big flower and you're safe since the meteors only come from one direction. Avoid the spells and shoot them, and before long the failures live up to their names. Except for the living part, of course.
Should be left well alone. Oh, I know very well how the secrets beckon so sweetly. Only an honest death will kill you now. Prevent you from your wild curiosity.
Directly after the failures, we find Lady Maria of the Astral Cock Tower. God damn, what a boss. Focus on parrying your attacks with the Rider Polish, and follow up with the Evelyn loaded with Bone Marrow Ash for nice damage. Of course, for some reason I didn't do that. I just shot her with my normal attacks for whatever reason. I was tired, okay? When she goes second phase and stabs herself, her attacks become infused with blood. The normal sword attacks are still not too hard to parry, just look out for the charged attacks as they will melt you. She almost bested me, but I was able to take her down with 7 bullets remaining. I wanted to put off killing Orphan with cause for as long as I could, so I made my way past the squid heads and through the werewolf-infested orphanage to the celestial emissary. Literally just shoot the shy guy in the back, then shoot the taller version. It's hilarious how dumb this boss is. Goodbye, you big blue booger. This would have been better off as a standard enemy than an actual boss fight. Now, Brightus is just down the elevator. This boss is the bane of my existence. Her health bar is just so huge and, oh. I guess you just gotta hit her head. Oh man, I just feel bad. Well, Brightus without getting hit. That's a new one for me. And that leaves us with 5 bosses remaining. I was excited to challenge Martyr Ligarius as I finally got my blood tinge to level 50. That's pretty much where the damage almost reaches its maximum. You can put more points in it, but it won't do much, so from now on I'm just leveling health. For Ligarius, just focus on getting to phase 2 so you can parry him. His spells are relatively easy to dodge. For some reason, half of my bullets were bouncing off of him or going through him. I think it has something to do with the slant of the roof. Ligarius is a somewhat small health pool, so as long as you can parry him, and which apparently I can't, he's pretty easy. I learned from Distortion that if you chuck 2 poison knives at the queen, she actually lurches out of her chair and dies mid-air next to the lantern. Just don't play this sound too loud or people passing by might think you're watching something completely different. After only playing this DLC once, I completely forgot how to get through it. I got lost for way longer than I should have, and fell off way more roofs than I'm more proud of, but eventually I made it to Orphan of Kos. This is the only boss that really stumped me. His first phase can be parried with practice, but it's very risky since he does so much damage. And he tends to stick the attacks that can't be parried, like throwing gore at you. I don't know if he can parry the jump attack or the spin. I couldn't pull it off, so I just shot him whenever possible. Once he's at half health, he deals even more damage, and I decided it was too risky to parry with the amount of damage he can put out. His lightning attack is very troublesome, and in order to avoid it, you gotta be really far away so you can actually see it coming. Couldn't get a strategy going here, so I just focused on not getting hit so I could preserve resources and staying back and shooting him whenever possible. After about 15 tries, I was able to put him down. I almost forgot about the amygdala. I was actually pretty excited about this one since his head is the best way to deal damage and usually it's hard to reach. On the way through the Nightmare Frontier, I actually got invaded by another hunter. Good to see that people still try multiplayer in this game. I felt kinda bad since I didn't hit very hard. They did an excellent job at dodging my shots though. But all it took was a lucky bone marrow bullet to one-shot them. Good fight if you see this good hunter. It was fun to shred amygdala. I struggled so hard with the cursed version of this boss a year ago, this felt like a decent revenge. Well, we're at full power and all the optional bosses are dead, so all that's left is Gehrman and the Moon Presence. Make sure to use the 3 umbilical cords before the fight with Gehrman to get access to the final boss.
Dear, oh dear. What was it? The hunt? The blood? Or the horrible dream? Oh, it doesn't matter. It always comes down to the hunter's helper to clean up after these sorts of messes. Tonight, Gehrman joins the hunt.
If he can parry Gehrman, he gets melted easily with his small health pool. But he can do the same to you, so look out. He actually surprised me a few times, but I don't mind since I love this fight. Now we get rejected by the moon presence. It's like, damn bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? Eating a bill of quartz, you fucking freak. This one's a lot like most beast fights, very erratic and aggressive. So I just waited for it to settle down. This one attack takes all but 1 point of your health. It renders the moon presence completely vulnerable for about 10 seconds though, so you can go ham on it while you can. Just remember to heal back up as well so you don't get one shot. And just like that, we've defeated the entirety of Bloodborne with only a gun. If you stuck around for this long, I just wanted to say thank you. This was my favorite run yet, and I'm still undecided on exactly how I want my videos to turn out, so I'm going to keep experimenting. Thanks for watching, until next time. Peace.